And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, roger, planet.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Payload down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. What is it? Put that in the big bag, Signal.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You good? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Hello and welcome to another NSF live stream. You are looking at a Falcon 9 rocket sitting at Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, and it is getting ready to launch 23 Starlink satellites into orbit. Yes, go Internet satellites go. This is the 6-46 Starlink mission, and launch should be in just under an hour here, barring any changes from SpaceX, but we'll stay tuned. There is a bit of a window for tonight, so we'll see what happens. I'm Jack Beyer. You can see my info there pop up on the right-hand side. We are also going to be joined today by our lovely team of commentators, including Sawyer. Sawyer, you're on this, right?
I hope I am. Yeah, hopefully you can hear me. As one of your commentator cohorts here. As you mentioned, we're about an hour away, and trust me, this isn't your ordinary Starlink launch. Stick with me, I got some fun facts about this one.
I like fun. You know who also likes fun? I do believe our very own Max Evans likes fun. Max, do you like fun? Can you confirm or deny?
I can very much confirm I do like fun. Good evening, everybody. And Jack, welcome to your second stream of the day.
Whee! Yeah, I literally just ran all the way out to Starbase, grabbed some cameras, and then ran all the way back to the bunkhouse. And now I am trying to stay focused on this stream while I look at the footage that the cameras captured. So if I go slack-jawed at any point, do forgive me. But we are in a ticking clock situation here. We are counting down, hopefully, to a launch of Falcon 9 from the Space Coast. So there you go. Also in the background, we have Jay Keegan operating the stream. Thank you, Jay, for doing all that you do for NSF, running in the giant human-sized hamster wheel that makes things go. We appreciate you. So, Sawyer, you said you had some interesting, what was it, a fun fact? An interesting fact? Whatever kind of fact it is, lay it on us, Sawyer.
Where this isn't your ordinary Starlink launch, yes. And as mentioned, this is the Starlink 6-46 mission carrying 23 of the Starlink V2 mini satellites up into orbit. The booster, B-1078, is on its 8th flight, and that is the first time that a booster has flown on its 8th flight this year. Yeah, I know that's a very obscure one, but it's something. Something less obscure is the fact that this launch will mark the 11th launch for SpaceX this month, including Starship, which would be the most times SpaceX has ever launched in a month. Their current record is 10.
That is absolutely remarkable. I love it. That's a very fun fact, Sawyer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, when you say it like that, I feel like you're insincere.
No, I really mean it's fun. I always like to, you know me, it's never just an ordinary Starlink. It's a rocket launch. Rockets are cool, and there's always something even cooler going on with each mission. So I always like to try and find it. So shout out to LSR and Alex for helping with some of those fun facts.
There you go. I'm just giving you a hard time. It was not insincere. You know who is insincere, though? Max. How you doing, Max?
Whoa!
Shots fired.
Didn't see that one coming, my goodness. But I'm doing great, honestly. I'm a little bit chilly because it has been quite breezy here over the last few hours. I think the base was reading, the base meaning Cape Canaveral Space Force Station was reading about 18 knot sustained winds, which is still in the green. But 18 knots is pretty substantial to launch in or fly in or do whatever you want in. And it is not the most fun to be out in for yourself because it may be like 68 or 69 degrees right now, maybe even 70, but it feels much cooler because of the wind. And it is also pretty overcast right now. So viewing conditions might not be the best today, but you know what? We're just rolling with it.
Yeah, you know what? You take the good with the bad. Either way, some Starlink satellites are going into space, and we are 100% here for that because you know what? Hopefully that means we get some good views of IFT4 when that happens. Speaking of IFT4, if you missed it, earlier today we did have our stream of Ship 29 testing, so SpaceX is really firing on all cylinders here. It's absolutely wild. And Sawyer, were you saying 11 launches this month, including this one, assuming it goes tonight?
Assuming it goes tonight, yes, this will be the 11th launch for SpaceX this month. And keep in mind, they still have a few more scheduled for the end of the month here, so it could even go beyond that. But they have at most launched 10 launches in a single month. This would set a new record.
Fantastic. You love to see it.
And I do want to point out that is counting,
Sawyer,
counting Starship there, which, figuring it's the most powerful rocket in the world and it actually did make it to space, I think we definitely count that.
I think it counts, absolutely. I mean, they weren't launching a payload, but if you're not going to call that launch a rocket launch, I really don't know what to say to you. And Alex in our back channel points out that there are still more launches, so we will see what SpaceX ends up being able to hit for the month of March. Really outstanding work from everybody involved, all the SpaceX teams. It's all we can do to try and keep up with it, right?
Right. That, hey, more launches, more better.
Max, do you sometimes feel like... Yes, absolutely. Also, don't steal my bit. Max, do you ever feel like Sisyphus?
Your what hurts?
My Sisyphus.
Would you mind breaking that word down for me, Jack?
It's a stupid joke from the earlier stream. I asked Doss if he ever feels like Sisyphus because he's always so busy. But you're also very busy, Max, keeping up with all the launches from the Space Coast.
Honestly, it sounds cliche to say, but honestly, no. I still enjoy coming out for every single one and working every single one, not just for us, but for everybody else as well. I mean, we are just so lucky to be here and witness just how rapidly things have picked up, not only for SpaceX, but for all launch providers who are already here and eventually coming here as well, in addition to ABL, Blue's picking up, with Terran 1 flying, Terran R should hopefully be flying in 3 to 4 years. No, honestly don't. I enjoy coming out every single time, no matter what the weather's like, no matter what time of day. I still love coming out here. And in other good news, I believe SpaceX actually just tweeted that all systems are ready and weather is currently go, with less than 1 hour until Falcon 9's liftoff from Slick 40, which is good. Good news. Very good news.
Good news, everybody.
Fantastic. That's exactly what we want to hear. Good news. Thank you, Sawyer.
Yes.
Let's see if we can get the Space Pope back in here. I think we might have just summoned Space Pope. All right. Well, as usual, we will do our standard NSF Q&A style stream today. So if you have any questions, throw them in chat. We'll see them pop up in some software we have running in the background. And in the meantime, while we wait for some questions to come in and when we wait for prop load to start, I will thank some people for their support. Right after I look at this slow-mo footage of the static fire. Please, please, please. Yes, it worked. Okay, stand by for that too. The Evolution, thank you for becoming a Padrat member. Twice? It showed up twice. Coco Cats, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Bideford, we love you, Bideford. Thank you for gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Always so much support. We really appreciate you. Kenneth Cannon, thank you for the super chat. They're asking, where's a good place to view Slick 40 launches? Sawyer, I'll let you go first, and then I'll make Max answer, even if he doesn't want to.
Well, first off, we did a fantastic video featuring Max and Julia talking about some of the best places to view launches that is available on the YouTube channel here. But depending on the mission, I mean, usually you can get a decent view of it in like the Titusville or the Cape Canaveral Titusville area. One of my go-to spots for one from there would be something like Cars Park, where it basically flies right over your head for these southeasterly trajectories. You can also get it pretty well from Port Canaveral and any of the beaches along there as well.
Here at my Cars Park, the rockets fly overhead. Okay, I'll stop. Max, where do you like watching Slick 40 launches from?
Honestly,
No, ignore
anything.
it. It never happened. It never happened.
You know we can't do that. that is literally impossible. Anyways, what are rails? For anything Cape side, mean 40, Slick 41, Slick 40, 37, and hopefully soon 36. Honestly, Cars Park also agreeing with Sawyer. I think Cars Park is probably like one of the best spots to view a launch, at least over on that side. For a pad like 39A or 39B, hopefully for Artemis 2 next year. Anywhere in Titusville, mainly the Max Brewer Bridge is a great public spot to go because if you're at the very top, of course, you're up, I want to say, over 100 feet off of the river. So you have some pretty good altitude or elevation, I guess you could say as well, in your advantage. But going back to Cape side, I would say Cars Park for sure.
Excellent. And any tips for anybody who may want to view a launch from Cars Park? Like, get there early? Is it cash only? Like, what's the deal?
So Cars Park, I'm not sure if it's open for every single mission. I want to say it is, and I think it's like a $5 cover charge to get in, because otherwise, during non-launch times, it's not open to the public. It is technically a NASA site, and you have to be either NASA employee, I think, or Cape employee to have access to Cars Park as a whole. But they do open up to the public for launch viewing. So yeah, get there early. I mean, depending on the mission. Starlinks, you can usually get there around an hour before and you're fine. But for say Delta 4 Heavy, hopefully on Thursday, oh boy, you might have to get there probably 2 to 4 hours in advance, just because there isn't a ton of room over there once you're close to the river or the pier over there. So honestly, for any launch, the earlier the better. But that's pretty much all I got for you for cars.
And for the later evening launches there, they end up closing a little bit earlier than usual. So like even up to T-minus 45, T-minus 30 minutes. So just if you can give yourself that little bit of extra time just to be sure, pay the $5 and the gate may close behind you, but you still can get out. It's just the problem would be you can't get back in.
Got it. All right, well, good tips all around. Thank you for that. Speaking of T-minus 45 minutes, hey, we're coming up on T-minus 45 minutes.
Hey!
So there is the countdown timeline. At T-minus 38 minutes, LD will verify we're go for propellant load, and at T-minus 35, Stage 1 RP1 locks loading, or RP1 loading begins. So we will stay tuned for that. Just about 7 minutes until we have LD verifying go for prop load. So, in the meantime, what say you all about some more questions?
I say yay.
Yay as in, you want more questions?
Verily we roll along.
I'm like having a stroke over here. God.
What is happening?
Yes.
What is happening?
Yes.
Let's see here. Camplo is asking, what is the launch's trajectory? It's southeast, right, Sawyer?
Exactly. This has been the typical southeasterly trajectory launch with the drone ship recovery downrange, but coming soon, TM, we should start seeing the Group 7 and Group 8 missions launching from Florida, which those are the ones that are set to land over the Bahamas, which I know was in the news a while ago. So those Bahama landings should be coming up soon, but for today, it's still the traditional southeasterly.
Alrighty then. Thank you for that. Kanan Copeland is asking if I support their love of maple syrup on bacon. Sure, why not? You do
Yes.
you. Do we know, Jonathan is asking what the wind speed is for a no-go on launch? I mean, ground wind speed is one thing, upper level shear is another. There's several variables here, but what do we know about wind limits in Falcon 9?
I want to say at least Falcon with Dragon can fly anywhere, I think, between 28 and 29 knots. Is that right, Sawyer? Is that roughly right?
From what I recall, that's roughly right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think so around upper 20s, maybe low 30s in certain configurations for Falcon 9. But it's also worth noting that Falcon 9 is one of the rockets that's more vulnerable to winds because of course it is so skinny and it is so thin that even so when it's low on propellant, it is that much more vulnerable to being blown around because of course there's less mass and it doesn't have enough control authority to recover if it was blasted by a wind shear or something. So yeah, I think upper 20s or low 30s is Falcon 9's threshold. But right now, as I think I said earlier, I think Cape Canaveral Space Force Station measured a sustained 18 knot noting or warning, which of course is still within the threshold, but 18 knots is still pretty substantial. So I think that's why they had it noted.
And I am taking a look at the current weather board that they post. And yeah, there's still the observed 18-knot steady-state winds at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, but everything else looks okay.
Excellent. Really quickly, I'll thank some people for their support. If I can get my iPad to cooperate. Thank you, iPad. Thank you, Steve Jobs. The Gaming Ham, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. Really appreciate all of our members. You get Discord access at Capcom level and above, so pop into Discord and say hey, and check out all the different cool Discord channels there are. There's Food Chat, where you can watch Sawyer and I argue about bagels. Oh, also, there's a bunch of channels that actually talk about rockets and Starship and spaceflight and all that good stuff, too. So definitely make sure you jump in to the Discord if you get membership at Capcom level and above. The Gaming Ham gifting a Red Team membership. Roseanne DeVasto, hey, with a super chat, and they say there's more to come, Sawyer. Nice.
Haha, yes.
Jay Hensley, becoming a launch director member. Thank you so much, Jay. You also get Discord access, and you also get all of the other perks. So if you want the members-only multi-view for Starship testing, if you want to have your name at the end of NSF Live, well then, buddy, you signed up for the right perk. And thank you so much. That's a really outstanding amount of support. Speaking of an outstanding amount of support, Russell Snodgrass, thank you so much. That is absolutely exceptional. $100 super chat there. I mean, that's so much money. Thank you. They say, yay. Rocket launch. Yay. NSF. Did they have to push that Falcon 9 uphill to the pad with those 4 curious towers? Oh, they got me with the 4 towers thing. I didn't read it ahead of time.
Got him.
Russell, seriously, thank you. One of those, you both got him at the same time. What is going on here? Oh my gosh. Seriously, Russell, thank you. That's an exceptional amount of support. And we see your name pop up with support like this all the time. So it means the world to us. And the cool thing is if people don't have the money to support us monetarily, if that's not something you can do or even want to do, don't worry about it. Awesome people like Russell have your back, and we are supported by viewers like you. So even if you're just hitting the like button and watching the streams, we appreciate you just the same. We just like doing what we do. So we appreciate everybody showing up.
Also,
Ninja Decimator. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'll save my fun fact for later.
Ninja Decimator. Pew, pew, pew. They say bring Spider Cam from Starbase to KSC. I mean, I'm on board.
Spider Cam? What's
the Gaming Ham? Spider Cam does the things Spider Cams do. We had a spider on one of the cameras for the static fire stream, Max.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome.
It was cool because Adrian was also on stream, and it was
Oh,
like Jay
even
kept cutting to
better.
the camera.
Even better.
It was a delight. Let's see. The Gaming Ham, thanks for the super chat. They say, let's go SpaceX. Keeps getting better and learning more each day. Thank you. Space Pope, thank you for the support. They say you called. And Philip Kissinger. Is that Henry's brother? Thank you, Philip, for the support there. All right, question time as we wait to hear that LD has given go for prop load, which should happen in about 40 seconds or so. But Cap Steve Zissou, I get the reference, thank you, is saying, how long does each stage burn? Who wants to take that one?
I mean, I could take that one. Obviously, the numbers vary based on what's being launched, but typically for a Starlink launch, the first stage ends up burning for about 2.5 minutes. That's not including the following maneuvers then to land on the drone ship, including the entry burn and the landing burn. And then the second stage will ignite, and then that usually burns for another 6-ish minutes or so after that. So those are the rough numbers. Again, all of these, even though we're given estimated times by SpaceX, they all change because the rocket itself is doing the calculations in real time. It's not going, oh, it's 8:36. I have to shut off now. It's, no, am I on target? Cool, then I'm going past my curfew, 8:36:15, and you can't stop me, Mom.
Nice. SpaceX Cowboy is asking, will the 39A orbital launch mount, I assume they mean for Starship, have a flame trench? As of right now, it doesn't seem like it. There's been work done on another kind of water-cooled deflector plate sort of thing. Some groundwork for that, but they've started removing legs of the launch mount at 39A. So who knows what's going to happen? I mean, question mark?
Maybe at this point. Yeah, it's a big question mark.
All right, well, there you go, SpaceX Cowboy. Let's see. Okay, this is way off the rails. Have we gotten confirmation that they're go for prop load?
I have not seen it, nor have I heard it.
Not yet.
So
Not
not
yet.
Not yet.
All right, standing by for that. In the meantime, Catch Moore is asking, when SpaceX start point-to-point flights, what food would you want served?
Oh boy.
Like I said, this one's way off the rails, but it's a good question.
You didn't summon Crispy right away.
I mean, yeah, I expect him to pop up in chat like momentarily here because I said point to point, but you know what? I'm gonna go with the weird answer and say spaghetti. Because then you could call it Space Getty.
Space Getty. Wow.
Go ahead, Max.
I mean, I was just saying, wow, to your Space Getty. That's all.
I mean, for me,
What food would you want served on a point-to-point Starship flight? Sawyer, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
no, I see someone saying in the back channel, Adrian says lox bagel.
Lox bagel.
But
Love
what
it.
I would do is I would want to get pizza fresh from Italy, with all the fresh tomatoes and mozzarella and all that. I'd want that. It's probably about the same length of time as if you were to order for something like Domino's or Papa John's, so might as well get it from Italy.
Nice. I think though, Sawyer, if it's from Italy, you have to say mozzarella. Like you have to really pronounce it.
Mozzarella.
There you go. All right, Max, you've had time to think about it. What food would you want on a Starship point-to-point flight?
Oh goodness. Honestly, probably a peanut butter and jelly sandwich served on a single slice of bread, because in zero gravity you can use both sides of the bread.
Somebody take this man's microwave phone away. Like the FBI is currently en route to your destination. This is illegal. I don't like it.
What happens when gravity comes
Nice.
back?
Well, that's why you eat it before you hit gravity again. Duh.
I thought you meant point to point as in you want food, so you order it, and instead of like Uber Eats or something, it gets delivered by Starship.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm going to say some really good sushi. So you get to Japan, you have some omakase, you let the sushi chef take care of it. You're like, you know what? I just got here from space. Make me the appropriate sushi, please. And then that's what I would go with. Can you tell I haven't had dinner yet?
Me neither. I'm with you.
Same. All right. It looks like we just got confirmation that prop load has begun for Falcon 9 over at Pad 40, which is great news.
Great news indeed. So we should start to see some condensation coming from the booster. And there you go. You can see the tweet from SpaceX right there. Falcon 9 has begun prop load at Pad 40.
Hey, you want some more fun facts?
Excellent. Just about 30. I like fun fact. What's the fun fact?
The fun fact is, sorry if I keep talking over you. I think there's a slight delay on our end. But the fun fact is, you know what the last vehicle was that launched from Slick 40. It was the CRS-30 mission carrying the Cargo Dragon. So this will mark the fastest turnaround time between a Dragon mission and a regular Falcon 9 ferry mission at the same launch pad. Especially because prior to now, all of the V2s have been flying from 39A. The previous record was held as a result then at Pad 39A, with just a bit under 9 days between Crew 7 and another Starlink mission.
Nice. Good, solid fun fact, Sawyer. That was a very fun fact. Thank you. I'm having so much fun.
Well, I really shouldn't be calling these fun facts. I should just call them pun facts because it's me.
Wow. I guess I kind of set you up for that, so there you go.
Give me pun tokens, and I haven't been using them, so I feel like I've got some catching up to do.
Yeah, you know what? Good on you. Like, good man. I applaud your commitment. Oh yes, the GoPro worked as well. Oh, sorry,
So
I'm looking
funny.
at footage while we're also doing the stream.
It's so funny because every single photographer and videographer always have like different noises whenever they capture something that they're super happy with, and it's just funny hearing you live go through all your stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to focus. I really am. I promise.
I really am, I promise. But speaking of, oh my gosh. But actually, if you guys want to look closely at the bottom of the first stage LOX tank, there's a bit of frost forming there. You can just see it flowing in the wind.
All we
Excellent.
Are blowing in the. I won't sing.
Oh, geez. Here we go.
It's one of those streams. It's one of those streams, Max. Just submit.
It's one.
Just buckle in and enjoy the ride.
It's been one of those months, honestly, with how busy we've been, to be honest. So at this point, just roll with it.
Indeed. 31 minutes to go. And we will hopefully see some more Starlinks blasted into space. Bullet Hole Shooter, thank you for the super chat there. They say, picking up a load, going to Miami just in time to catch Delta 4. Nice. Max, are you excited for the final Delta 4 this week?
Man. That's a very dangerous question. Because
End of an era.
It is the end of an era, but I have a bit of a sentimental connection to Delta in a way, in that it took me. I'll save this story for the stream on Thursday for the most part. But like TLDR, like I waited 3 years to see Delta 4 fly, and Delta 4 was one of the first rockets I came to Florida to see. It was the cursed NROL 44 mission way back in 2020. I came down from Illinois, I think 4 or 5 times to try and catch it, and never saw it fly. And so for that reason alone, I yearn for Delta 4, and to see one fly in the daytime on Thursday, I'm so excited. I'm excited, but I'm worried that once it's up in the air and it's gone, that's the last time you'll ever see it fly, and the last time you'll ever see it ascending into the atmosphere. I'm not quite sure how.
Final.
It's the last one.
Final Delta rocket ever. Really, it's going to be bittersweet, but I love to see that beast fly. So definitely, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, be sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that launch, hopefully on Thursday. Max, I got to stop you up really quick, though. Did you say you were yearning for the launch?
Yes.
Yearning? Say the word. How do you pronounce the
Yearning?
word?
It's like
You're
it-
weird.
that-
All right. Of course, you're
I
from
feel like-
Illinois.
Well, that's like asking somebody from like Wisconsin or Canada to say bag.
Big.
I feel attacked.
So yeah, Delta
As you
4
should.
Heavy is I'm really with you. It's that whole I want to see it fly and want to see it send off, but you don't want to let it go. I mean, I still remember the first one I saw was EFT-1 back in 2014, where it looked all weird with the capsule on top.
Flex.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Flex.
yeah,
Sawyer
yeah.
Flex.
And then, yeah, unfortunately, that cursed NRL-44, that was rough. But then you got some amazing science missions. Like, I got to actually talk to Dr. Parker of the Parker Solar Probe, which launched on Delta 4 Heavy. They let us I literally have a picture of me next to the flame trench. They let us that close. Sawyer Flex. But it just, that's when you really get the scale of what a beast this thing is. And then to see it set itself on fire and just fly. It's like, how does that thing actually even go?
That was one of the coolest missions ever, the Parker Solar Probe on Delta 4 Heavy. It was just this tiny little
Agreed.
spacecraft on one of the biggest and most powerful rockets then flying.
Yep.
Like that was one of the coolest things to see. But golly, Delta is. I mean, we are getting very off topic here because this is a SpaceX stream and not a Delta 4 stream with ULA. But yes, we are all very excited and we are all very much looking forward to Thursday.
Indeed. We're also looking forward to a launch of more Starlinks. Yay! In just about 27 minutes to go. I am excited for more Starlink satellites to be in orbit. Really quickly, Bideford, thank you for the support. They say, yo, Jack, don't make fun of us poor schmucks from Illinois. It's our parents' fault.
I mean, you got a point.
I kid.
There's a point there.
Some of my best friends are from Illinois. My roommate is from Illinois. Illinois good.
That's an ill take.
Wow.
So ill
Max,
that
I'm trying,
it's
okay?
annoying.
I'm trying here.
Jeez.
Ill, annoying.
Sawyer.
Annoying.
What are
Sawyer.
rails, ladies and gentlemen? What are rails?
I don't know. You should ask the moon train.
Oh gosh.
All hail moon train. Y'all, if you have any questions, at NASA Spaceflight in chat, preferably the questions are about today's mission, but, rails, what are they? So where are we at in the count, Sawyer? Give us a quickie little update here.
Quick little update here. Starlink 6-46 mission fueling is underway as RP-1, Rocket Propellant 1, which is a refined form of kerosene, is loaded along with liquid oxygen into the first stage. Meanwhile, on the second stage, it is just the RP-1 currently being loaded. That will load till about T-minus 20 minutes and 20 seconds, at which point we will have the best vent and clear the lines ahead of the second stage, then loading up with liquid oxygen shortly after that. So we are currently in the middle of that propellant load phase, and then things will start to pick up once we get to chilling the engines, preparing them for the launch, retracting the strong back to ease it away from the vehicle, top off all the tanks, have the onboard computers take over, Falcon 9 entering startup, and then hopefully in 25 minutes from now, we have liftoff.
Fingers crossed.
Have we talked about recovery yet, gents?
We have
No.
not. In fact, Mr. Banana in chat is asking, how are Falcon 9 boosters reused? Is it just landing, wait a bit, and then relight? Or do they do some engine swaps or checks? If so, what sort of checks do they do? Let's get to that question after we talk about how this mission is going to be recovered. Max, I'll let you take it.
Sure thing. So, of course, we've already talked about this is booster B1078 on its hopefully about to embark on its 8th mission, and so it'll be flying out towards the Bahamas on a 43-degree orbital inclination today. And the drone ship out waiting for it over there is a Shortfall of Gravitas, joined in pair by fairing recovery ship Doug. So very standard. I mean, every single ship in their fleet right now is a veteran, so everyone's already well weathered in, and this should be pretty routine.
Excellent.
And
And then Sawyer, do you want to go ahead?
no, I was going to also mention, again, with all of that, Shortfall Gravitas and Doug down there, this will also be the 299th recovery attempt of a Falcon rocket. So it doesn't seem like it, but they've been doing this for quite a while now of these landings. And in case you're wondering about the whole SpaceX recovery fleet and all of the hardware and things that are used, we do also have a video that just came out within the last week about that you should check out.
Absolutely. I knew you would do the plug justice, Sawyer. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, progressing ever closer to launch. I swear I'm not looking at footage of the static fire. I am 100% focused on this right now.
What's 2 plus 2?
More questions. 4. It's 4.
It's fish,
I'm pretty
but
sure.
close enough.
Although I do have a film degree. Let's see. Gareth Cole is asking, why is stage 1 RP1 loading, but all other stages are just load? Is that something it's just how it's written on our timeline, or is that like SpaceX terminology?
Might be the text on the timeline. I'm not sure, but again, they're kind of interchangeable. You could say that SpaceX is loading the fuel onto the vehicle, or that fuel load is underway. That I can actually use my degree for to correct grammatically on that. So either or is correct depending on the context. But basically, it means they're filling up the gas tank, and yeah, just apparently they're not supposed to be on their cell phone while gassing up, but I still do it anyway. What rails? I mean, that's the way you think of it. It's basically giant gas tanks. It's just, certain tanks have to be filled with premium and certain have to be filled with diesel.
Yeah, makes sense. Kelly Teacher is asking, any chance of a jellyfish tonight? I'm trying to decide if I need to drive up to the roof of the parking garage real quick. Max, jellyfish outlook for tonight?
So that depends on where you are, because of course, right now there's actually a pretty good amount of cloud cover over the Cape here, at least here at the Kennedy Space Center. So depending on where you are, launch is happening about 3 or 4 minutes post sunset, which is going to be a gorgeous time to fly with the rocket flying back into the sun's rays, all nice and bright with the exhaust in contrast against the dark sky. I don't think it'll be as vibrant of a jelly, simply because it's not dark enough yet, and there's also no boost back burn from the first stage. But it's going to be beautiful one way or the other. But hopefully, you're in an area where there isn't a ton of cloud cover. Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple types of jelly, right? Like sometimes you get the RTLS jellyfish, sometimes you just get the standard jellyfish, sometimes you get the sunrise one, sometimes you get a sunset one, and it all really just depends. Sometimes conditions are perfect, sometimes conditions are so-so, and sometimes it just timing doesn't line up. So definitely, if you have the ability, Kelly, get up high somewhere. Hopefully there's no clouds above you, and maybe you will be in for a fantastic show, as will the rest of us here in just about 20 minutes. Speaking of 20 minutes, Sawyer, what are we about to see happen as we hit 20 minutes in the count, as we always see at 20 minutes in the count with Falcon 9?
You can see the vent. It's a little hard to see because it's kind of cloudy out there, but we have the T-minus 20-minute vent underway right now. That, as we kind of alluded to just a bit ago, is an indication that the RP1 load is complete aboard the second stage of Falcon. So what they do now is they will purge the lines, and then once those lines are cleared out, which usually takes about 4 minutes, then they will begin loading in the liquid oxygen, the loxygen, onto that second stage there. So is when you can kind of see if you look there at the bottom right, you can see a little bit of that vent. Also, usually gives a good indication of the wind and the wind direction, and also based off of how much you see can also be a good indicator of the humidity. So, Max, I think it's pretty fair to say a little gusty, but not crazy humid.
Yeah, that's actually very accurate. It's not even that humid out. I mean, the air has a pretty good amount of thickness out here tonight, but honestly, it's just breezy, which is kind of annoying, especially when it's as steady as it's been. Holding anywhere between 15 to 18 knots is just annoying. But yes, that would be a perfect description of what it's like here today.
Oh, I was muted. Alex says in the back channel that it's 90% humidity, which is, I guess, a dry day for Florida.
That's accurate.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly.
Outdoors Man Show, another one of those names we see pop up all the time, is asking, when RTLS Starlink mission? Sawyer, what's the deal with Starlinks generally not doing RTLS missions? They just need the full performance of Falcon 9?
I'm not 100% sure exactly why they haven't done it yet at this point. They've filed the paperwork for it, and they do it occasionally. And I guess a lot of it's going to come down to the launch cadence of how quickly are you flying between flights? How quickly is a single booster being turned around? Are the drone ship decks getting absolutely destroyed and needing refurbishment or little touch-ups? So I think we'll see a bunch of them throughout the year, especially as they continue up the pace. But for right now, I don't think there's an official reason of exactly why they're not doing it yet. But hey, that's more work for the fleet and more fun to watch Fleet Cam.
Indeed, I do love the views that we get when a Falcon 9 lands on a drone ship. I mean, don't get me wrong, RTLS is the coolest part of any rocket launch that happens on, but something is just so absolutely insane still to me about landing a rocket on a barge in the middle of the ocean after it chucks something into space. It's just so cool. The Gaming Ham is asking two questions. How do they choose the trajectory of the rocket, and how do they choose the recovery zones? I think it's all about the trajectory that is needed to put the satellites in their requisite orbit. And with Starlink specifically, there are different shells and different inclinations of orbit that the Starlink satellites can go to, and that all dictates not only trajectory, but launch time and a bunch of other things, right, Max?
Talking while
Yes,
muted.
Jack, you're exactly right.
I was talking while muted. I was trying to be like you. But yeah, it really all depends on what orbit the satellite manufacturer or the customer wants their payload to go, and what performance is needed from Falcon 9 to get there, whether it be expendable, whether it be a drone ship recovery, or if they have enough performance left over to perform an RTLS maneuver. So yeah, that's basically it, honestly.
Good deal. Keep the questions coming as we have the clock continue ticking down, just under 15 and a half minutes to go. Bob Thomas, thank you for the super chat there. We appreciate you. And also for the other super chat saying, which direction trajectory tonight? That's southeast, right, Sawyer?
Exactly. This one is going to the southeast, as the two versions of Max kind of mentioned. It was weird. I heard two Max voices, one a little more high-pitched than the other, but definitely both Max. Totally not you making his voice, but in general, yes. This
I'm
one will
Max.
be...
Stubby nozzle bad.
Oh, yes. Good take, Max. But
I'm
yeah.
Jack, West Coast.
This one will be going southeasterly trajectory, a little bit sort of south and west of the Bahamas. Hopefully soon we'll start getting those that continue southeast, but will end up going actually to the Bahamas.
There you go. We have the trajectory map on screen, so that should give you a better idea of what direction this rocket is going. Thank you for that, Jay. And Kenneth Cannon, thank you for the super chat. They say, did someone say sushi? Yes, I did.
By the way, that other map that popped up, that is
Sushi.
the second stage. So the second stage is, once they're done, they will burn up in the atmosphere, re-enter, and that is the expected path of where any pieces, if they were to fall down, would splash down. So that looks like around the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa and along the area around Madagascar.
Nice. It's one of those spaceflight things that is not super well documented, but I would love to see a second stage deorbit from the ground sometime. Fred is asking, do the rockets ever hit space junk on the way up or satellites? I don't think that's happened yet, and that is in part because great care is taken so that there are no opportunities for that to happen. What are those?
The cutouts?
They're called like colas or something like that. Yeah, cutouts. Thank you, Sawyer. Go for it.
Yeah, I know there's an official name for it that Alex will probably end up typing in the back channel. But yeah, they specifically, even though they may have a 5-hour window, there are certain parts within that window that are cut out so that they can avoid, say, a satellite or some space junk that's been observed, at least if it's large enough to. It doesn't mean that there might not be a piece that wasn't caught and that it flies nearby, but they do as much as they can to try and prevent all of these satellites from hitting into anything else. And it also helps that with the Starlink satellites, they are really low orbiting. So you got a low enough orbit here that if you were to encounter a satellite, you would kind of be able to work around it a bit there. Like, it shouldn't be there.
And it's not just space junk or other satellites, right? It's also space weather needs to be planned around as well. If there's a massive solar flare or what have you, you don't necessarily want to launch when that is going to be hitting Earth. Wasn't there a batch of Starlinks that was lost due to higher than anticipated solar radiation or something along those lines? I'm at the limit of my knowledge right now.
No, they launched right as there was a strong solar flare, and yeah, it kind of fried the satellites. So SpaceX is a little more careful now. Either give the sun some antacid so that it doesn't keep burping really hot stuff at the Starlink satellites, or, just not launch when there's potential for increased solar activity.
All right, hold up. I'm going to call Tori over at ULA and tell him to swap out the payload on the last Delta Heavy to do a Parker Solar Probe 2, but this time it's just full of Pepto-Bismol.
I'm down for it.
Sunspots, solar flares, coronal ejections. Okay, no more singing. That was the last. That wasn't even singing, but I'll stop. Patrick Scott, thank you for the support. They say, how long does it take for the second stage to re-enter the atmosphere after launch? I'm throwing this one to you, Sawyer.
Usually it's not that long after. It's a couple of hours, I believe. I'm sure Alex will fact check me. Yeah, about 2 hours after launch or so is when it ends up coming back in and burning out.
Excellent. Do we have a picture from the field that we can show?
That's not a picture of Jack.
Nice. Max, this is you.
I guess it is. Yes, it is. That's where we are right now.
I don't think there's enough cameras around you.
Never enough, to be honest. But I think the point of that photo was to show that actually the skies do seem to be clearing a little bit, and the cloud layer is thinning just a bit, and we are getting some nice colorage in the evening sky. Colorage. That's a nice word. But yeah, things seem to be.
It's a technical
at least,
term.
It is. It's a very technical term, but it looks like conditions are improving for viewing, at least from our perspective.
And along those lines, Max, when we were talking about the weather before, with the 18-knot sustained winds that we're seeing, that is no longer the case at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station per the weather releases that they put out. So the winds are even calming down too. Everything looking better.
Excellent. Just over 9 minutes to go to launch here. If you are in the Space Coast area, or in like Miami or southern Florida, do go outside and crane your neck to get a view of this one, because it might just be a pretty one given the timing. Hopefully we get a little bit of jellyfish action there.
Don't crane your neck too hard, though,
Probably
because
won't
they're
be
not that high up
crazy.
in the sky from South Florida.
Fair. Probably won't be a crazy jellyfish if we get one, but either way, it should be a pretty beautiful launch tonight, especially with conditions improving. Hooray! Ezra is asking, I remember when they launched 50 to 60 Starlinks per Falcon 9. Why haven't they done that in a while? Slayer, that's down to a different version of the satellite, right? The V2 satellites are heavier.
Exactly, yes. The V1s were a lot lighter, and especially with these, when we say V2 Mini, while it has the word mini in it, that's kind of a misnomer. They're actually pretty big in comparison. It's just mini to what the original planned big ones were that were going to fly on Starship. So you can only fit so many in there, and then came the issue of mass. So that's why we started seeing only 21 satellites launching. Then SpaceX has kind of improved the efficiency of Falcon 9, and they were able to get 22. And just recently, they've obviously shown that they can keep getting this vehicle somehow even more efficient in its flight, and now load 23 Starlink satellites onto it.
Yeah, I guess in comparison to Falcon 9, the V2 minis are more like V2 biggies, and in comparison to Starship, that's when they're mini.
Exactly. I was
Sweet.
trying to come up with a pun, but
Max,
my brain just... There's got to be a pun there somewhere. Give me a couple minutes. I'll come up with it randomly.
Yeah, let me know. You can workshop it with us. Max, at a certain point, we need to let you go to prepare to shoot the launch, and we're just under 7 minutes here. Do you want to hang out a little longer, or do you want to go bye-bye?
Yeah, honestly, it might be that time, unfortunately. I got to get a couple cameras here ready to hopefully capture liftoff in what looks to be rapidly improving conditions here. So good luck, gentlemen, and I will see you all on the other side.
Godspeed, happy shooting launch, and we will see you on the other side in just around 6.5 minutes of launch. And we'll get you back shortly after that. So thank you, Max. Good luck. Also, D is out in the field as well, so we are hoping for some excellent imagery tonight from the Cape team and from our remote camera operators who are operating the SCL cams.
If I may, at this point, we've passed the T-minus 7 minute mark, so as of right now, the engine chill is underway, which is basically running some propellant through the engines to prepare them for the shock that they will experience when the Merlin 1D engines throttle up and get super hot and then actually lift off. So basically, conditioning the engines is underway. The next big thing that we'll watch out for is the strong back retraction in about a minute from now.
Excellent. So things are going to start happening very fast here as we get closer and closer to launch. Just minutes away from 23 more satellites being on their way to space. Really quickly, Lava Scout, thank you for becoming a PadRat member. We hope you enjoy all of the member perks that you now have access to, including the members-only emoji, of which I am going to spam. How do we not have a Starlink member emoji?
I mean,
You know what? I'm going to spam Starhopper. There is Falcon. You know what? I'll do Falcon. Yay, members emoji. Oh god, I did Ares 1 by accident. You know what? We're going to have to live with it.
That's a silly rocket. Anyway, T-minus 5 minutes approximately now until liftoff.
Excellent.
You can still see all that frost around the vehicle, especially from this angle. You can kind of see it around the first stage, that swirling gases there, which are totally normal. You've got the super cooled propellants on the inside, and then the warm Florida air on the outside. So that will happen.
Excellent. Sawyer, Nam is asking, what booster is this? Well, specifically they said, what booter is this? But I think we know what they meant.
Yeah. This is booster 1078. It is on its 8th flight for this one. And as mentioned earlier, this is the first time that SpaceX will launch an 8th flight of a booster this year, which is kind of a stretch. But more importantly, this mission will mark the 11th launch for SpaceX this month, which would be a record for most launches in a month. And at this point, Strongback Retract is underway. It's kind of hard to see it from this angle, but it basically leans up against the rocket and then gets retracted about 1.8 degrees away from the vehicle ahead of liftoff, which will throw back completely at T0. But in the meantime, it's been providing the fuels. It's also been providing things like air conditioning for the inside of the fairing and for the payloads. So it does a lot more than just fueling, but that is now slowly retracted.
Excellent. Everything getting ready for launch here in just over 3 minutes to go. Sawyer, timeline-wise, what is happening with the vehicle right now?
Right now, the vehicle is, again, they mentioned all the engine chills and everything. Final checkouts from inside the Launch Control Center. They're obviously keeping an eye on all of the data. We should be coming up shortly on the conclusion of the fueling on both the first stage of the RP1 and Loxygen, and then the second stage liquid oxygen load will complete shortly after that, and then we should have a fully fueled booster, and that should all happen within the next minute and a half or so.
All right.
And we
Chris
have
Barnett is
confirmation-
asking...
Sorry, I'm sorry to butt in,
Go
but
ahead.
stage 1 LOX load is confirmed complete.
Cool, so we should see that T-minus 2 minute vent any second here now as that fueling wraps up.
Yep, right from that second stage, once that finishes loading the liquid oxygen, you'll get one more vent, which is basically purging the line to get rid of any excess liquid oxygen or gaseous oxygen that may still be in there, because keep in mind, oxygen plus fire equals bad.
That is true. All right. Getting very close to liftoff here. Really quickly, Chris Barnett has a question. If mass wasn't an issue, how many V2 minis can they fit on a Falcon 9? Infinity?
I think it's the size of the fairing.
If mass wasn't an issue.
And there is that vent, by the way.
Okay, yeah. I'm a big dumb idiot. You're right. It would be volume constrained. I was like, well, if mass doesn't matter, as many as they want. But no, you're right.
And
The
that,
fairing matters.
That vent is the indication that stage 2 LOX load is complete. So we have a fueled vehicle here, and the next thing, tanks pressurizing to flight levels, and Falcon 9's onboard computers taking control of the count, which is known as Falcon 9 entering startup, and that should be happening right now.
Excellent. All right, anything from here on out that the vehicle sees that it does not like, it will abort on its own. But hopefully in just about 45 seconds that doesn't happen, and we see 23 more Starlink satellites blasting into space. So, yeah. Oh, Marcia, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody for supporting what we do, whether or not it's monetary. Y'all are awesome. Just hit the like button if you don't have money to support us. It's completely fine.
Launch director.
Everybody else picks up the slack. All right, let's do this. T-minus 20 seconds-ish to go. Keep your eyes on the base of the vehicle for ignition as we hit approximately T-minus 10 seconds to go. T-minus 5. There's ignition. And liftoff. Starlink 6-46 on its way to space. Let's listen in.
Love that crackle. And just gotta say, amazing tracking from the team, even through the clouds.
Yeah, this is crazy. It almost looks like it's just hanging there. Really a beautiful launch. And
There's
beautiful
Max.
tracking from the team. No, Max is tracking with the camera.
Totally not the maximum aerodynamic pressure pushing down on the vehicle at that point of flight. No.
There we go. You can see the exhaust plume beginning to expand as the vehicle ascends into thinner and thinner atmosphere.
I love that expansion. And this is the lead up.
Awesome. What's next, Sawyer? How long until stage set?
Approximately, gotta do math, about 30 seconds or so from now, we will see 3 events in rapid succession, which will be MECO, main engine cutoff, when the 9 Merlin 1D engines shut down, followed by stage separation of that first and second stage, and then we will have SES1, which is second engine start. That is when the Merlin vacuum engine aboard the second stage will then kick in and keep pushing those satellites to their targeted orbit.
Fantastic. Go, internet satellites, go!
Oh, come on, baby. Give it.
Miko?
Yep.
Oh my god. Yes.
There's stage sep.
Yes.
Excellent. Looks like we are getting some jellyfish action. Look at that plume illuminated by the sun.
Goodness.
And you can distinctly see the booster and the second stage separating.
Wow.
Max,
Yep, so
I don't know if Max knows we have a hot mic on him right now, but I am enjoying his excitement.
for those who always ask, what is a jellyfish? This is a jellyfish.
Absolutely beautiful. You can very clearly see the first stage puffing its reaction control thrusters to orient itself. Meanwhile, the second stage powering into orbit, and I believe those are the fairings.
That looks like fairing halves have separated, yes.
Superb.
Look at how clear this
4
tracking
distinct objects. Yes, I'm loving this.
is. Those fairing halves are
All right, so
recovered,
next
by the
up, do we know what ship is recovering the fairings today?
way. I'd have to look into that. I'm sure someone in the back channel will help me out.
Whoa! Did you see that?
Wow.
Oh my gosh. We saw RCS from the fairings, not just the first stage. You can see it. Look
Well-
at that. That's beautiful.
So for those who ask how they kind of steer themselves in a way down, this is how they do it.
There are going to be so many people in Florida thinking they saw a UFO tonight.
And keep in mind,
Absolutely gorgeous launch.
every single camera you're seeing is our camera here.
I'm not complaining. This is great. Wow. What visibility. 4 distinct objects still.
Yep, and we're about
First stage coming in hot.
we're about a minute and a half away from the first stage entry burn.
Hopefully the clouds don't obscure our view.
Still see stage 2.
Go, stage 2, go! Fantastic work from Max and D down there at the Cape. Absolutely fantastic track tonight. I love that at the start of the stream we were like, it might be a jellyfish, it might not be that good. Like, this is fantastic.
This is, yeah, unbelievable.
Oh, hopefully we get to see entry burn on the booster here from our own cameras. No, clouds, go away, clouds.
Yeah, we're about 20 seconds away or so from that expected start time of the first stage entry burn.
Second stage doing its thing. Good deal. Francis Chin in chat says old Jack yells at clouds. You know, you didn't need to put the word old in there. Like, A, everybody knows, and B, I mean, I think we're all yelling at the clouds right now, right? It's not just old me.
Bring back the GIF.
Here we go, coming up on entry burn. I see green flash, I see T-Tab, I see entry burn.
Yeah, right now
Love
the
it.
vehicle is...
Falcon 9
Go ahead, say the line.
Falcon 9 is fighting fire with fire as it protects itself from the heat of reentry using its own rocket exhaust plume. Was that satisfactory, Sawyer?
That was fantastic.
Nice. Thank you. All right, well, there you go. Entry burn complete, and the second stage continuing to pile on velocity as the first stage begins to accelerate again briefly as it falls into Earth's gravity well further. But here we go. It's hitting thicker air. You can see some of the plasma on the grid fins. They're absolutely gorgeous. And you can see that velocity on the bottom left there absolutely scrubbing off super fast as the vehicle gets into denser and denser atmosphere. All the while, second stage doesn't care and is continuing to muscle those Starlinks into orbit.
Great view there. And again, as we get closer to the drone ship, you'll see those grid fins starting to wiggle a little more to help steer the vehicle as it gets into the thicker part of the atmosphere, as opposed to the cold gas jet thrusters that we've been seeing.
Okay, Alex, I'm going to acknowledge that the moonshine is visible to the right of the frame of the booster image. Thank you. Alex is freaking out about the moonshine in the back channel.
Moon.
I mean, rightfully so. We're getting some excellent views tonight. Max, do we have you back? How are you doing? Can you breathe?
Well, here we go. Landing burn. Come on, baby. Stick it.
Indeed, landing burn.
Stick it.
As if there was any doubt.
I know.
You don't take it for
Customary
granted, though.
grid fin wiggle. And
Oh, bullseye.
a clean view all the way down, and that looks like a
Bullseye.
bullseye if I've ever seen one.
Beautiful. X marks the spot.
Holy cow.
Fantastic. In just a moment here, we should also have second engine cutoff 1. And the Space Ballet reaches an intermission. Hooray! More Starlink satellites into orbit and an empty pad, which is exactly what we want to see on launch day. Alex on our back channel confirming nominal orbit. So smiles all around. Great work, SpaceX team. We're going to pull some replays so we can take a look at that again. But Max, what was the view like from the ground?
I really wish everyone could see like what we were seeing. Like this perfectly like sized window in the clouds just opened up, and we could track the booster in both fairings and stage 2 almost down to the horizon before clouds got in the way again. But we saw it all the way up, and given the light, that's probably top 5, like one of the top 5 prettiest launches I've ever seen. That was magnificently beautiful. Holy cow!
Yeah, I've seen Jellyfish launches before. I don't know that I've seen one where the fairings were quite that visible, or the booster and the fairings visible for that long. That was really great stuff, Max. Thank you to you and Dee both for just nailing it.
Like I was honestly expecting any sort of Jellyfish to be way less bright than that was, but holy cow, that was so bright, and the contrast was so high. Like I until the clouds got in the way, D was tracking stage 2, and I was tracking the booster all the way down to the horizon before the clouds got in the way. If the clouds hadn't gotten in the way, we absolutely should have seen entry burn. Holy cow, man, that was beautiful.
Auto track? Who needs that? We have Auto Max.
Oh my god!
I don't know. It sounded better in my head. Amy35, thanks for the super chat. And Steve, thank you as well for the super chat. They say, cue the X-Files theme song for Floridians. I don't doubt that there is a significant number of people in Florida who had no idea there was a rocket launch tonight, who are now scratching their heads wondering what the heck it was they just saw. And if you have a friend that is thinking they saw a UFO, hey, guess what? You can direct them to our stream so they can know exactly what they just saw. Wow.
By the way,
I'm almost speechless. Like, that was really beautiful.
You mentioned Auto Max. We can't forget about having D perfect other track with D.
Oh, that was good. That was good, Sawyer. 7 pun tokens for you.
Thank you. Can't forget about D and Max. They are bringing these amazing views to you. It still blows my mind. Just watching them work and then seeing the result as well is unbelievable. Amazing work to both of them.
Dare I say, they are a dynamic duo.
Wow.
To the max.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Y'all are too much. I can't deal with it.
Are we? Excellent. Well, we're working on those replays, so stand by for that. Max, I want to see your track again. That was truly outstanding work. In the meantime, I will run a couple more questions here. The Gaming Ham has thought, have you ever thought of making calendars with the launches? Why, yes, we have for a couple years now. So if you want a calendar, shop.sspaceflight.com. Oh, I love this. We're spying on you, Max. We can see you and D and all of your cameras.
Oh, no way!
Wave to the cameras.
That's us.
Wave.
Hey, there they are.
It's the dynamic duo. And
Oh,
also
Jesus.
whoever that other person is who's also waving.
That would be Sir Michael Caine. Wave, Mike!
Oh, he's waving, all right.
Nice. Love it. I love seeing the crew out there in force. Excellent idea, Gage. Pointing the camera at him. All right, still waiting on some replays. Let's do a couple questions. Matrix is asking, what is the record for most flights in a year by a single booster?
Oh.
I'm waiting for Alex to type the answer in the back channel. He says, give me 2 minutes. So we will. Do. Alex says he's mostly sure it's 7, but he will confirm. Boop. All right, no more copyright
By the way,
strikes.
for the people
I said-
overseas, replace the Jeopardy music with the countdown music.
There you go.
It's another show where it has a 30-second timer.
Alex is typing. This is compelling broadcasting right here.
The crowd went silent.
Uh-oh, Crispy's typing. Oh dear.
We're in trouble now.
Alex, stop typing. Alex is leaving us out in the cold.
Crispy coming in with the pun.
Nice.
Oh jeez.
Nice work.
Don't jeopardize the stream, Jack.
I already did. I did. I'm sorry. It's my bad.
Well, now then you're in double jeopardy.
Alex says 8. The most times a single booster has flown in 1 year is 8. Thank you, Alex, for that excellent answer.
Don't be 1058.
Can you tell us which booster it is, though?
1058? Maybe? Maybe? Oh, geez, here come the mosquitoes. It's always right at sundown for like 30 minutes after the sun sets that these bleeding mosquitoes come out and just terrorize everything.
No, they're not bleeding. They
I've
want you to
never-
be bleeding.
I've never been happier to have a camera pointed at you, Max. This is amazing. Like, we can see you swatting at the mosquitoes.
Oh, no. Oh, God, you can. Oh, no.
Yes. No, it's full screen.
Oh, gosh.
Alex says B1069 did 8 launches in 2023, also B1075. So there you go.
Okay. There you go.
And B1076. Wow.
Jeez, man, these mosquitoes are like pterodactyls. Jeez Louise!
Jeffrey Hall, thank you for the
my
support.
God.
They say, I can't believe how just... Oh, what? Oh, your
Dude,
mosquitoes.
like every
I love
single
it.
time I look behind me, there's like a swarm of them, man. Like, oh my God. It's hilarious.
You should
But it's
walk through
not.
it with your mouth open.
Extra protein, right?
There you go.
Yeah, it's good for you. Does a body good. Jeffrey Hall, thank you for the support. They say, I can't believe how just another day at work that has become for SpaceX, but it will never get old for me. I think, for all of us. I mean, yes, we make jokes like, oh, more internet satellites, go. But for real, it's simultaneously routine and still surreal. But speaking of surreal, I think we have some replays ready. Let's take a look at the otherworldly views we got of tonight's launch. Max, are you able to see the feed right now?
I am. Oh my gosh, I can hear them buzzing through my headset. Here we go.
Is this your shot? Or is this D?
I think this is mine. Yeah, I think this is mine.
Excellent. All right, let's watch this replay and enjoy Falcon 9 lofting 23 satellites into orbit. Go, baby, go.
Go. Internet satellites, go. Sorry, Sawyer.
That's okay. I usually I stole it from someone else, and I add V2 just to make it different.
Nice. Also, while we're watching this fantastic replay, the strongback is currently going back to a vertical position. Oh, look at the clouds.
No.
Max. Good
Dude.
job, Max.
Dude, I'm telling you, you could not have asked for a more perfect window to open up for Falcon to fly through. And now clouds are coming back in. Like, that was perfect timing. Absolutely perfect timing. And actually, so
Hooray.
if we go a bit farther into my replay, if Jay allows so, you can actually see the RCS thrusters from the booster and from the fairings.
Yes, we saw the fairing ones. That was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I
I
play
don't think
from
I've ever
about
seen
here, Jay.
RCS thruster puffs from the fairings themselves. I've seen fairing SEP during Jellyfish launches. You can see the fairings for a little bit of time afterwards, but I don't ever personally recall having seen the fairing thruster puffs themselves, which is really cool.
Yep, there's some thruster puffs coming from the booster there at the back. So the fairings are the two small dots in the middle, lined up in the middle there. Okay, RCS from the booster. Come on, give us a puff from the fairings. You can actually see them like rotating.
Thruster?
Done. You know, see how they get brighter and darker.
Yep.
There, right there.
There you
Right
go.
there, right there.
Beautiful. Side note, thruster puffs would be a good name for a cereal.
Or Rock Band.
No? Okay. Really beautiful work, Max.
And just seeing the puffs.
Absolutely. Right. Just beautiful stuff. All right, we got another replay.
I believe this will be from D.
Waiting for that liftoff.
By the way, I see people asking why the fairings have thrusters, and that's because they are recovered and reflown. There have been fairing halves in the past that have flown 15 plus times. So they use those little thrusters to kind of maneuver themselves. They also then have a parachute to slow them down, and then they're scooped out of the water by one of SpaceX's fleet of ships, brought back and refurbished.
Fantastic track. Just the clouds. The clouds make it so beautiful.
Yeah, we could not have asked for a better window. Oh my freaking lord! You can
Mosquitoes?
This is the
literally-
craziest part of the launch. It just looks like it's hanging there in the sky while it pitches over.
So none of our tighter cameras caught it, but maybe I hope my phone did. After stage SEP, there was a crazy shadow in the sky from this exact condensation trail when it was ascending from the sun. It was so beautiful.
Yes, the plume shadow. I've seen that before here out at Vandenberg, and it's a gorgeous thing, and it's always so tricky to catch because you're set up for the launch, you're set up to shoot a very bright rocket, and then all of a sudden it's like, cloud, shadow,
Yep.
So hopefully your phone got it, Max, because that's always a cool sight.
Yeah, it's one of those, you're looking through the camera and then all of a sudden you pull the camera away for just a second and go, oh, that's the reflection. Oh, that's the shadow. It's just, you have to take a second to even think about it before even trying to snap a picture. It's a cool effect.
Right. Speaking of cool effect, here comes the Jellyfish. You'll love to see it. I wish all launches could be Jellyfish launches, and RTLS for that matter.
But then they wouldn't be as cool if they were all Jellyfish.
That's fair, that's fair. But okay, wait, hear me out. Starship Jellyfish is going to go so hard. I mean, hot staging at Twilight, I'm here for it.
Okay, I'm definitely here for
God.
that.
Oof. For Starship, dude, that is going to be remarkable. Holy cow.
Can't wait. Can't wait. And there you can see the second stage plume beginning to be illuminated by the sun. And we'll get those thruster puffs. Delicious thruster puffs. Part of this complete breakfast.
What flavor?
Oh my
Cinnamon.
Dude, you can literally hear these mosquitoes through my headset. This is freaking crazy.
Max, if you need to break down and flee, by all means, break down and flee. We will still enjoy the replays and praise you.
No, it's
Oh, good
mosquitoes,
Lord.
not fleas.
We actually heard coyotes as well after the sound began to die down here after launch, or during launch, I should say still. Good golly, Miss Molly. There were some coyotes behind us that we heard howling away.
Nice. There we go. There's the thruster puffs.
Oh,
Beautiful stuff. Excellent work all around. Look at those fairings go. Look at that first stage go. And look at that second stage go. All in one beautiful shot.
It's very rare to be able to capture all of it where A, it's that clear, B, you get that either sunrise or sunset, which just makes the lighting that much more amplified on the stages, and C, just having two amazing humans tracking it to get these fantastic views. It's a perfect storm of greatness.
I would go as far as to say it's delightful.
Because this is D's camera. I like it.
Oh,
Max, shouldn't you be running from mosquitoes?
honestly, that might be a good idea right now. It might be time for us to pack up over here, unfortunately.
All right, well, we will send you off so you do not get carried away by mosquitoes or exsanguinated and lose all your blood. But thank you to both of you, D and Max, for tracking the rocket launch for us tonight. Fantastic work.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. And really, thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. I know it's been a very long day for all of us here at NSF, and we appreciate everyone's support who's come in to watch and join us. Just what a time to be alive, and what an area to be working and living in. So, thank you very much, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Max. Well, really quick, Steve, thank you for the support. They say, former Floridian, and I don't miss the mosquitoes. I feel for Max. So good thing that we have released Max and D so that they do not end up getting malaria or West Nile or whatever the... Yeah, you get
You
it.
should just use Sawyer bug spray. Those who don't know, it's an actual brand of bug spray. I have no association with it other than they stole my name.
I use Sawyer brand bug spray. No relation. Beautiful shot of the vehicle assembly building there. All right, well, I think with that, we will wrap things up. Next launch is Delta IV Heavy. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel for that. That is currently targeting Thursday, midday, from Florida. So we're all very excited to bid Delta adieu in fitting fashion, as it is the last launch of the entire Delta family and the last launch of Delta IV Heavy. So it's going to be a good one. Make sure you tune in for that.
The bitter farewell.
Sawyer, thank you. Yeah, bittersweet. Sawyer, thanks for being on stream, buddy.
Oh, my pleasure. I mean, again, I always like to find something fun with the Starlink missions, and we usually do. And it's very easy to make it fun when you have someone like Jack, you, hosting. So thank you for having some fun with me as we watch rockets launch.
Absolutely. Anytime, buddy. Literally anytime. Also, in the background, we had Jay operating the stream tonight. So thank you, Jay, for pushing the buttons and pulling the levers. And we had some SBL ops in the background as well. I know Gage was operating a camera. I believe Roger was operating a camera. Like I said, the team was out in force for this one, and I'm glad for it because it was a truly beautiful launch. So thank you to all of our chat mods. Thank you to all of our members. Thank you to all of our SBL ops, SCL ops. Just whole entire team here making things work and doing what we do and doing what we love, which is bringing everybody rocket launches as much as we can, as best as we can. And if you want to follow along with everything NASA Spaceflight does, be sure you follow us on all the socials. There's NASA Spaceflight on Twitter. There is NASA Spaceflight _IG on Instagram. I think we even have a TikTok, although I have no idea what the handle is. But wherever you choose to follow NASA Spaceflight to get your updates, make sure you are doing so, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or what have you. We love hyping everyone up about spaceflight. So if you want to ride the hype train and maybe someday the moon train, that's how you do it. I'm being told it's official NSF on TikTok. So there you go. For all you Zoomers out there. All right. All right. With that, I think we will wrap it up. Once again, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you so much for all the support. And we will see you all on Thursday for Delta IV Heavy.
And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger there, planet.
Water towers fly! Yes! Echo down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange! 145!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag, you know.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane would be igniting the flare, correct?
Yikes. You dead? Sure. We don't need any more of these.